everyone, I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from our home away from home, the Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. Hope you'll visit it. We'll tell you more about that later in the show. And speaking of later in the show, our roundtable will be here to kick around some controversial topics. So stay tuned for that. We have special guests. I think you're going to enjoy the whole half hour. Now, let's start out talking about a big event coming up and three guys who do so much for the community. Next to me, our good friend David Daggett, attorney with Daggett Schuler. Socially distant and somewhat behind David is our good friend Ralston. He's race director of Beat the Heat Virtual 5K. We'll explain what that means. He's also vice president of the Twin City Track Club. And bringing up the rear is a guy who was a great athlete in college, so he knows all about this track stuff and soccer, and he does all the sports. Griff Schuler with the Daggett Schuler. Welcome, guys. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
Let me start with you. What is this Beat the Heat, and why is this race significant for the community?
Okay, well, good question. So Beat the Heat is a race that's been around for many years, and there are a lot of things that make it great for the community. I'll just give you three of them. One is it's a midsummer race and gets close to 1,000 people out doing something healthy when it might be more tempting to sit inside in the air conditioning in the middle of the summer.
Right.
Second, it's a contributor to a lot of charitable causes that are good for community health and fitness, over $20,000 over the last few years. And the third thing is the state 5K championship. So it brings more attention to Winston-Salem as a great running community.
And those are great things, but I have to ask, I mean, David and Griff sent me this email saying is doing a virtual 5K. Now, wait a minute. How is this being done?
Yeah, so another great question. I mean, virtual races existed, but were virtually unknown before COVID-19 hit. Now it's become the new normal. And so this is how it works. You register for a race like you would any other race. You go out and run the race on the time you want. You clock yourself, and you submit the results, and they go up.
And in
online.
this case, by yourself or socially distant from your friend or whatever, right?
Well, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Now, David, let me ask you what's going to sound like a silly question. Why not just cancel this? Why didn't you go to and say, let's just forget about this until we can all run as a big group?
Well, this is pretty exciting, I think. This is the 31st year of the Beat the Heat race, so quite a tradition. I think this is your 10th year as race director, and it looks like this virus is going to be with us for a while. One of the themes for the race is healthy fun for everyone, and we want to perpetuate and continue that healthy fun for everyone, and this is a new and fun way to do it. And quite frankly, is a trailblazer on taking a virtual race to the highest level that's ever been done anywhere.
Yeah, this sounds exciting. Griff, you know me, I'm totally out of shape. I mean, I don't think I can do a 5K. Does this have any other elements to it?
Just like David just said, healthy fun for everyone. There's also a 1 mile fun run. And the 1 mile fun run operates the exact same way as the 5K. You register, you put it in. That's a great opportunity for family and children, especially, Jim, and that's only $5 to register for the 1 mile fun run.
I'm glad you brought up the logistics of this, Griff. How do I sign up to participate?
So there's an online website. It's bth5k.org. Put that in your internet browser, phone, computer, whatever, and just follow the instructions.
All right, now I'm going to give a couple other websites in just a second, but say the BTH thing again.
It's bth5k.org.
Okay. Now, is there a fee involved to do the 5K? Griff talked about the 1 mile thing.
Yeah, it's a $20 fee, which is lower than normal years, but we don't have some of the fixed costs of normal years, so we're trying to make it a budget affair.
And very quickly, give me an example of where the funds might go.
With the funds, so we got charity partners every year. This year, our two charity partners are Ainsley's Angels and Mission Feet First.
Okay, Beat the Heat is up on screen, the virtual 5K, July 15th through 18th. You can do your event. You can go to the website twincitytc.org. That's a good one, isn't it, Eric? And also thanks to David and Griff and their team and everybody for all the things they do year-round for schools and adults and everybody. And it's daggettschulerlaw.com. You can call 724-1234 should you need their help and advice otherwise. And we just appreciate what everybody's doing. Guys, this is going to be not just virtual fun, real fun, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
sir. Yeah, thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
We'll be right back after this. Triad Today, and in these trying economic times, it's more important than ever to know the value of a diploma, especially a high school diploma. And we have a lady with us now that's doing great work throughout the region in trying to help folks get that diploma. With me now, our special guest, Mandy Corbett, is with the Access Center. She's a career coach there with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
let's explain to folks that maybe haven't seen some of our programs what the Access Center program is all about.
Absolutely. So the Access Center is a partnership between Goodwill and Forsyth Tech, and it's an adult high school program that's all exclusively online, so students can complete their diploma from home. And then where Goodwill comes in is we provide career counseling and scholarships for skills training beyond the diploma. So
which is so important, especially now, and as we, you know, the unemployment rates the way they are. Well, I know you don't want to sit here and brag on yourself, but basically, I mean, what makes this program different from other similar programs?
I think it's that wraparound service, you know, with that partnership that we have a really great, you know, online program that's state accredited through Forsyth Tech, but then Goodwill's coming in and we're providing that career coaching, life coaching, skills training, and also job placement. So a student is then able to go from, you know, maybe not having a diploma to sustainable employment.
Yeah, Mandy, how important is it, especially these days, do you think, to have that high school diploma?
I think it's critically important. You know, there are many organizations that will, you know, not even look at a resume that doesn't, you know, have that checked off. You know, and I think education is truly what opens up opportunities for us. It's the path that allows us really to take hold of, you know, the opportunities that we could have and the person that we could be. And so that's why we called the program the Access Center, because we want to create that access for anybody who wants it, whether, you know, you dropped out of high school 3 years ago or whether it was 30 years ago. You can enroll, finish that diploma, and then all these opportunities open up. And then that's where my job comes in, and it's really fun to get to sit down and talk with a student and say, like, what do you dream of doing? What do you love? What's meaningful to you? And then help them take steps toward getting there. And
really think outside the box. And I know you help them do that too, because it could be that, let's say they were laid off from something. You might help them understand and realize that they can go a different direction.
Right, exactly.
And be very successful in a time when some jobs are available and others aren't, and maybe put them in that slot. You've already answered this in part, but I'm going to go over it one more time. Have you been, during this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, have you been able to do what you're supposed to do and what you can do to help people during this pandemic?
Yeah, we have. It's truly been amazing because the program is all online. The transition to, you know, continuing on that virtual platform has been wonderful, you know, for the students. They're already used to that. And then I've been able to provide career coaching, you know, virtually as well. And then additionally, we've been working to get our skills training courses online. So, you know, the students have been able to continue on that path toward completing the program even during this pandemic.
Without giving away a name of anybody, just can you think off the top of your head of an example of someone who maybe the Access Center has helped in securing meaningful and sustainable employment? Do you have a quick story? Yeah, we actually had a student that came through in 2018. He only needed 1 credit to have his diploma. There's this 1 credit standing in the way from him and, you know, a career that he would love. So he came in, he got that 1 credit. He then did skills training in welding, and then from there he took a training at Collins Aerospace, where he was then hired on after that training. At an aerospace industry? Yes. Wow. So something he hadn't thought of before. Yeah. Isn't that something? That's just great. Now, how can folks enroll in your program? How do they do that? Really easy. They can just go to accesshighschool.com, and there they can read, you know, more about the program, and it will give steps toward enrollment as well. Accesshighschool.com. Now, also, I'm going to put up on the screen Goodwill, NWNC.org, stands for Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina, and that can also lead you over to this. But say your website again real quickly. What's the one you just said? Accesshighschool.com. Accesshighschool.com. Mandy, thanks for all you do for everybody. Oh, thanks so much for having me. All right. We'll be right back. Back now on Triad Today, and we're all starting to get out more and enjoy outdoor activities during the summer, even as we social distance ourselves. And we hope we'll do it healthy, in a healthy way, but sometimes we get injuries. Well, let's talk about how not to get the injuries and what to do if you do. I happen to have an expert in that field, and next to me is Dr. Brian Waterman. He's Associate Professor of Sports Medicine, Department of Orthopedic Surgery at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center, also Team Physician for Wake Forest University and the Winston-Salem Dash. Good to see you, Doc.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
What are the most common types of injuries or issues that you see in your clinics and offices?
Yeah, first off, it's an incredible profession. The field of orthopedic surgery is second to none. We're able to restore people to function and really focus on improving their overall quality of life. we see a wide variety of conditions, right? Things from the simple sprain or strain to something that maybe is a more advanced joint problem that may or may not require surgery. Me personally, I work in the shoulder, knee, and elbow sphere, kind of comprehensive care. And so we'll see ligament injuries, meniscus problems, cartilage injuries, Tommy John. So a wide variety, and that's kind of.
I think that's an underwear company now, isn't it? But I guess you can get injured in your underwear, but that's a whole other topic. We'll get into that. Now, look, if I'm not an athlete and I injure, I sprain my ankle or something, and I'll point out to the folks, you have several offices, several clinics that are around there. We'll put up a website later. But, I mean, is it okay for me to walk into one of those places or make an appointment, even though I'm not, that the injury wasn't sports related? Maybe I just, turned my ankle in the yard. I mean, can I come and see you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a common misnomer that you need to be actively engaged in sports to come to a sports medicine clinic, when in fact the broader majority of folks are just folks that live active lifestyles. That can be an occupational injury that they experience, that can be something they encounter as a weekend warrior, but we also take care of a fraction of competitive and recreational athletes.
Now, do you treat injuries a lot of times without surgery, or do most of the times is surgery required for what you do?
Yeah, so sports medicine kind of carries some fundamental tenets, and really it's guided in minimally invasive techniques and trying to resolve things at the lowest level. We have a variety of in-office interventions that we can do, from injections to physical therapy to other maybe home-based exercise regimens that we can incorporate in to try to address your condition. However, if surgery is required, we have a variety of different assets available to us, and focus a lot of our techniques in arthroscopy, that small keyhole surgery that helps to try to resolve it without larger incisions.
Yeah, without and hardly any recovery time off of those types of things.
Right, much lower.
Can I, this is a little touchy subject, but can I feel comfortable coming to one of your sports medicine clinics during this whole COVID-19 pandemic? And, because for a long time doctors were putting off and surgeons putting off various procedures and things, well, let's wait and see what happens. Can I feel okay coming to your place?
Yeah, absolutely. We've sunk a lot of time and energy and really collaboration with our infectious disease specialists and our policy developers to make sure that everybody's COVID protected. Some of those tried and true interventions that have worked are obviously social distancing and making sure our waiting areas are compliant, using aggressive hand washing and sterilization techniques, and then also masking, not just for the physicians but also for the patients. Should your musculoskeletal condition require anything specifically in terms of surgery, we've used point-of-care testing, screening, and self-quarantine in order to ensure that the health and welfare is ideal.
Now, I also understand you sent me an email talking about how some of the partnerships that you formed with schools and organizations. Very quickly, in what ways are you talking about partnerships?
Yeah, so we've been able to really experience across the full spectrum of athletes, from Wake Forest University, Winston-Salem State, Winston-Salem Dash, and then Forsyth and some of the other surrounding county schools. We really have the priority of the health of the athlete at the highest regard, and we look forward to continue to being partners in their care.
I think that's great. Up on screen, wakehealth.edu/sportsmedicine is the website that will get you directly to the topic that Dr. Waterman was talking about, or you can call area code 336-716-WAKE is that number. Dr. Waterman, will you come back sometime?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right, thanks for all you do.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back after this. Today, and always glad when we can spend a few minutes with our good friend Dave Briggs, and here he is, right here, a little bit social distance away. Dave Briggs, director of the High Point Theater. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Jim, always.
As it is with many other theaters, all of the theaters, you're not open yet because of the pandemic. I'd like for you to look into your crystal ball, though, and let's talk a little bit about this pandemic era and the theater. And first of all, how is live entertainment changing in general?
Well, let me put on my Karnak the Magnificent hat. Under my thumb, Broadway has already canceled all of its season, and they're going to hopefully start back up in January of 2021.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's huge in terms of what live entertainment is. Almost all of the festivals, whether it's the Coltrane Festival or the folk festivals, have all canceled.
Right.
We don't know when they're going to come back.
And those were outdoor.
Those were outdoor events where you could actually have some level of capacity. Major concert artists have canceled all of their shows, some of them not even until summer of 2021. Some of those folks can afford to do that. Others cannot. I mean, we have lost already. We've moved several shows that were ours into the 2021 season, and a couple of them into the 21-22 season.
Right. And some people say, well, why did this person postpone and why did that person? Well, as we were talking about off camera, you've got travel involved for these folks. You've got quarantining in some places. All right. How will we have to be socially distant once your theater reopens, and to what extent? What's your prediction?
Sure. I think we have gone through our seating charts and figured out a way so that if a group comes in, we can socially distance them 6 feet away from the next group. So if it's a single, if it's a duo, 2, 3, 4, whatever. We're set up to sell every other row of seats, and then we would
every other row.
Every other row.
Okay.
And then we would socially distance 3 seats between one group and the next.
Got it.
So at 50% capacity, we think we can hold about 300 people in a 900-seat hall.
Right.
That's not even 50%.
And I've been over there for
math.
shows where you're just filled to capacity before, and 900 people there, and there's going to be hundreds of people disappointed.
Yes.
And they'll have to wait around and try to catch another show.
Yeah, and it's almost impossible to keep people from walking next to one another. We can put up the signs that say stay 6 feet away when you're going to the concession stand or when you're going to the restroom. But I'm not going in that restroom and telling somebody they can't, they've got to socially distance.
Right.
Our sinks are only so far apart.
Right.
So that's going to be an issue as well.
Do you have any idea yet when you're going to be allowed to open at some capacity?
Well, I really had hoped that the governor would have moved us to at least phase 2.5 and opened up some of the smaller venues. Right now, we're still sitting at 10 people inside, 25 people out. You can't do an event for that. You can't make it pay for itself. So, hopefully,
End of July he might change it?
Maybe July. I mean, phase 3 is he's going to contemplate that on the 17th of July.
Okay. Let's look ahead to some things, keeping our fingers crossed that we don't think will be affected by any of this, at least to some extent. Jen Kober scheduled for September 18th. What is that?
We still have Jen coming in. She's an amazing comedian. She's very, very funny. She was on Disney. I wouldn't call it totally family friendly, but she's a wonderful comedian. She's been on a lot of the top comedy shows as well.
Will she say words that I don't understand?
No, I don't think. I think you'll be able to comprehend
on November 15th, we're looking ahead to some of these that are pretty safe bets. Hans Liberace, November 15th. What in the world?
His name is Philip Fortenberry, and there was a biopic on Liberace. And when they did the cutaways to the hands, these are his hands actually playing the piano.
Wow.
He's a remarkable pianist in his own right. And the week before that, we have the Raleigh Ringers on November 8th. And we don't think they're going to cancel because they're playing bells.
Right, right. And finally, very quickly, John Barry, November 29th.
John Barry, I spoke with his agent yesterday, and it looks like that's good to go.
All right, up on screen, highpointtheater.com, and you can call 887-3001. That will get you certainly some good information. Call 887-3001 for tickets and information about what's going on. Dave, you're going to stick around for the roundtable?
I am, and I'd like to say a thank you to Phyllis Tuttle. Phyllis was our marketing assistant for, I think, 14 years at the High Point Theater. She's now retired. I think she's enjoying some time at the beach.
All right, Phyllis, thanks. We'll be right back. Triad Today, as we continue to come to you from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. Check the website out on screen and come on out and enjoy the flowers and the gift shop. Hope you'll do that. Also pick up your copy of Yes Weekly. Hope you enjoy my column in there. And before we get to the roundtable, let me just say a shout out and a happy birthday to Nellie Stevio. She is connected to the crew, the McWhorter Concepts crew that you can't see behind the camera. Diane is her daughter. And so happy birthday to Nellie. Diane is 50, Nellie's 39.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to Nellie. And Nellie watches the show all the time, Ogie.
I don't doubt it a bit.
Yeah.
I've met her.
I never miss it myself. All right, now on to the roundtable. Guys, this is a frustrating topic. In order to comply with COVID guidelines, the Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools are trying their best to come up with some solutions like having half the students report to class, half of them learn online, alternate the weeks. Now our friend Darrell Walker, who heads up transportation, saying, Jim, I don't know, man. It could be 5 hours wait to get to school and a half day in instruction. Guys, are you okay with any of these plans? Do they present problems for parents? Ogie, what do you think?
Well, everybody's making it up as they go along, Jim. I'm going to take my mask off. That actually seems like as workable a plan as any that I've heard so far for getting the kids back to school.
All right. Ogie Overman, by the way, the introduction, I forgot. Everybody knows Ogie, though, broadcast journalist and outstanding broadcaster. And behind him, Dave Briggs, you saw earlier in the program. Dave, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't think that they can come up with a perfect solution for this. You know, back in the old days when there was overcrowding in the schools, they had half the kids came early in the morning, half the kids came late in the afternoon into the evening. That may be what we end up having to do in order to socially distance and clean and do all the necessary things. And transportation is a true issue, and it's a real problem for the parents.
Yeah, it really is, with daycare and everything. Keith Granberry, a founder of Helping Hands Consultants, let's get you to weigh in on this.
I think that I would do virtual learning right now, because with the unknown, once a situation happens, a case has happened, then you begin to close down and panic, and parents begin to panic. Until we can come up with a real solution, I would do virtual learning until that happens.
Which they've been doing all along. All right, let's change the topic a little bit. This is distressing. Following the discovery of the noose in Bubba Wallace's garage at a race in Alabama, we all know about that, the owner of the 311 racetrack in Stokes County posted an ad on Facebook where he said he was selling, quote, Bubba ropes, unquote, with a lifetime warranty, he says, and added, quote, they work great, unquote. Some disguised reference to lynching or something. I don't want to put words in the man's mouth, but the NAACP wants the man charged with a hate crime. Do you agree, Ogie?
Yeah, that's sickening. I used to cover races at 311. Met Harry Gant down there. Just how sadly we've changed. That's just pitiful. If that's not a hate crime, what does it take?
Dave Briggs.
Well, I think it's disgusting, but I don't think it reaches the level of a hate crime. You've got a Second Amendment right. He's got a right to free speech, a First Amendment right. It is disgusting.
Keith.
1,684 stalls, one noose, and the only black driver in the entire NASCAR.
But this guy got a small track in Stokes County, and he wants to sell
Bubba
ropes.
This guy is a racist. Just like people say, I have a black friend.
Yeah.
He's a racist. It is a hate crime, and lynching was the most intimidating, disgusting aspect of black lives in the last 400 years.
Yeah, this
guy. He needs to go.
Yeah, and the track, he's lost a lot of advertisers, as he should. Under Minnesota law, the white cop who killed George Floyd will receive a pension of $50,000 per year, even if he's fully convicted. Guys, are you okay with taxpayers giving a full pension to not just police, but any government employee who commits a crime? Ogie?
No, I'm not okay with that at all, Jim. Not at all. No.
I mean, like I said, I'm broadening the question, Dave, that not just a policeman, it could be an accountant.
Well, Jim, I tried to do a little research on this, and this actually, I think, goes back to how the lobbying folks for the police department actually put this law forward.
The police union, right.
The police union.
In Minnesota, it's
Minnesota.
legal. In some states, they will not let you collect the pension.
Yeah.
Keith, what do you make of this?
Well, I think it's terrible, but the police unions are not going to do away with it. But I recommend that if that something like that happens, that the people who are the crime is committed against are able to sue and take that pension from them. I think it should be a crime to benefit from a heinous crime that he has delivered. So I think the family should be able to sue him and get an award for the suffering that they have endured.
All right, let's change topics a little bit. Now, here's a weird one. The former coach of the men's national soccer team says that playing our national anthem at sporting events, any sporting events, is inappropriate, and we should stop doing it. Agree or disagree, Ogie?
You know, I've thought about it. I used to cover hockey, and you know, probably 4 or 5 players out there were Americans. The rest of them were from all over the world.
Different parts of the world.
It's kind of antiquated in a way.
Yeah.
And for soccer, hockey, baseball even, most third of them are Latin kids. You know.
Dave Briggs.
Well, it seems like they're trying to kill patriotism. Hockey, they do play the Canadian national anthem and the U.S. anthem. Yeah. Are they going to take all the anthems for the World Cup and in the Olympics?
I don't know what spurred this comment, but it just came out of the blue. Keith, what do you think? Do away with the national anthem entirely?
I don't think they're trying to kill patriotism at all. I think what they're saying is they are protesting systemic racism. And in America, you're supposed to be able to speak your mind.
Be inclusive.
Absolutely. So
right.
I think that it should be, it is antiquated, but I don't think that they're going to do away with it.
All right, guys, finally, a Texas man says he still mows his ex-wife's lawn even though they've been divorced for 28 years. Guys, if you had been broken up with a woman for 28 years, would you still mow her grass? Ogie Overman.
Well, my ex lives on the Outer Banks, so probably not, but we get along well. I think it's kind of sweet, really.
Do you?
I do. I
Dave
really
Briggs,
do. Yeah,
if you and Elizabeth had been broken up for 28 years, would you still mow her grass?
I don't think so.
No. Keith, what about you?
I would mow her grass, but I would write something in it every week to show my displeasure.
I don't even want to know what you're going to write. No, I don't want to know that. Well, that's all the time. And by the way, Keith mentions that he would mow Elizabeth's grass. I think that's what. All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Speaking of Texas, a bunch of people, I mean, huge crowds gathered in Texas recently for an event called, let's see if I can get this right, Go Topless in a Jeep Celebration. Now, as a result of, yeah, Ogie likes that. As a result of that, over 200 half-naked women were yanked out of the Jeeps and arrested, which means it just proves you should never drive with the top down. All right, for all of us here on, like that, Dave?
Where were the police during this time?
I don't know where they were. They're at your house mowing the grass. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.